So I've posted some of these videos onto YouTube as I said I would, but some of the videos I put into like one bigger, like longer video ever, and one of them, it was like me talking about how I was living in Italy and like some of the places were boring, right? One person had commented, "Do you have a low mood?" I don't really know what they're implying. I don't know if they're like asking if I'm depressed, if they're asking if I just have a low mood in general because I've been here for so long, or I honestly don't know what they were talking about. But another person said, "You're so annoying, like, have you been to these 10 places, including Prague and like Garda, and then like a couple of little villages around that?" I've been to like 9 out of 10 of those, including most of the small villages around Lake Garda. Not only that, been to Lake Garda and been to the amusement park, the Lake Garda amusement park, Gardaland, you know, the big amusement park. That is the one that, in the States, there's like Six Flags and Lagoon and like all these other ones. Italy, Gardaland is like the only big amusement park. They might have like those small like fair rides that get shipped in, get held down by like bolts, and then get taken out after a week or a month, and that's it. But Garland actually stays there, have many different rides like Lagoon or like Six Flags over. I've been to Garland, I've been to Lake Garda, I've been to the villages nearby, I've been to Prague so many times. I don't see how that could be like annoying after I've seen 95% of the stuff within a 15-hour plus driving radius. I don't see why I have to get on an airplane onto Ryanair to go to Prague when it's like, I don't know, 8 hours to drive, maybe even less. You're thinking that 8 hours is a long time to drive. There's no way that's annoying. If you live in Texas, seeing most, like, let's say 40%, 40 of the 50, or 45 out of the 50 states, and then you go onto TikTok saying, like, how does anyone have, like, any good, like, vacation ideas or whatever? Like, I've seen so many of this. You won't see anyone being like, "You're so annoying. Have you been to Salt Lake City? Have you been to the Great Canyon? Have you been to Yellowstone? Have you been to Dallas or Houston or any of these like majority big cities or like big like attractions over?" You won't see that because being an American in America seems to be so normal, right? Because that's what people live there, they're American, whatever. But you won't see them getting called annoying for saying that they've seen most of the places and they think America's boring. But the second I say I'm an American living in Italy, thinking it's boring here because I've seen so many of the places so many times, and then I'm the one that gets called annoying, even though I've seen more places than most of Americans because I've moved so much in my life. My dad's in the military, said that a couple times already. I've seen so many stuff, and I'm not the type of person who likes staying in one place, seeing the same stuff for years, because other than like this house, the longest I've stayed in a house was maybe 3 years. But this house, I've been here for 5.5 years in the same exact house, and I'm going to stay here for another 2 years, so in a total of 7.5 years, staying in this house, staying in Italy, after I've spent my entire life every year, like 1 to like 3 years. So 1, 2 or 3 years, I would have already been moving. But this time I've actually stayed And so I've seen more and more stuff around who I am. I'm not always like going to the same places. Some places aren't good, some places I like, but I don't have a job, I don't have a way of getting money, so I don't have a way to like go traveling on my own. The only time I could travel if it was for school with the soccer team, or if my parents would either go travel with me to those places, or if they were to pay for it for me to go. But knowing them, they won't want me to go alone. They want someone to go with me because there's a lot of like people who would pickpocket you in every situation and everywhere, so they won't want me to go alone, clearly. Right? But don't go in my comments saying, you're annoying, you say this and that, but have you seen these places? Not most likely, yes. Plus, on TikTok, you can just scroll past the video, ignore it, and go on with your day. Don't have to comment, just ignore it, right? That's how TikTok is. YouTube, if you're on shorts, you can just swipe past it and don't worry about it, just like TikTok. If it's a video, you can swipe down so it can go into the little player, you can exit out of it, you can go pick a completely different video to watch, or on the side where it gives you recommendations, you can just click one of those videos. You don't have to watch me. You can move on. That's how the internet works. Don't like something? Move on. Forget about it. Don't bother anyone with stupid ideas because you can't handle yourself, right? Right.